1990s. He later became a key witness, helping convict his 3 co-accused by testifying against them. After being sentenced to a minimum 26 years, he's now eligible for parole, but a hearing is still months away. Accomplice Mark Ray Hayden was released into the community last year after spending 25 years behind bars. The estranged husband of accused mushroom cook killer Erin Patterson has told of a family rift during his second day of evidence. More from Erin Pearson.
Simon Patterson was asked a little bit about a rift that had begun to develop in their relationship. We know that they were separated at the time, but in late 2022, this rift began to develop, and we heard that was over an invitation or a mistaken lack of invitation to a 7-year birthday party. We know that there was issues with child support payments and childcare arrangements and school fees and these sorts of things happening at the time. And there was a text message exchange between Simon and Erin that was read out in court.
3 people are now in a stable condition after a helicopter crash in Victoria. A woman in her 40s and 2 men in their 50s are in hospital after their aircraft plunged into the water off Point Lonsdale. The ATSB is continuing to investigate. Commander Mark Brislane says it could have been much worse.
We were quite fortunate that the event happened at low tide to give us beach access, because as I look at it now, the water's lapping right up against some of the cliffs, so access would have been a major issue had it been high tide.
The Prime Minister has landed in his 5th state as he continues his 6-state blitz ahead of tomorrow's election. He's now in Victoria attending an event in the Melbourne seat of Aston. Earlier today, Anthony Albanese campaigned in Brisbane and Tasmania and will be in Sydney tomorrow. Meantime, opposition leader Peter Dutton's campaigning in WA after spending time here in SA. Latest data shows retail spending has continued to grow in March, up 4% on the same time last year. Food-related purchases at supermarkets and grocery stores continue to be the key driver of increased spending. ARA's Fleur Brown says consumer confidence has risen across the board.
Particular categories of growth included food and clothing, footwear and personal accessories, and household goods, and department stores also seeing some fairly reasonable year-on-year growth.
And popular foodie festival Tasting Australia is now underway for the next 10 days. Tourism Minister Zoe Bettison is urging people to head on down to Town Square in Victoria Square.
You can come down and experience fantastic food. There's 4 bars, live music and DJs, visual art, and a really interesting, interactive, immersive GAN experience. Ever wondered what it'd be like to go on the train? Come down to Victoria Square and you can test it out.
Now I'm turning to 5AA Sport.
Flash sale event now on at Gasman. For 6 days, enjoy up to 50% off selected styles. Ends Sunday.
The Crows have trained ahead of tomorrow's clash at home against Carlton, while Port Adelaide take on the Western Bulldogs in Ballarat. Tonight the round continues with St Kilda hosting Fremantle at Marvel Stadium. Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham have made a strong start in their Europa League semi-final tie against Norwegian side Bodo Glimt. Spurs won the first leg 3-1 at home, with the return leg to be played next week, while Manchester United were 3-0 winners over Athletic Club in their first leg. And F1 legend Ayrton Senna's 1992 helmet has sold for nearly $1.5 million Australian dollars at auction. The Brazilian was killed when he crashed into a concrete barrier in the San Marino Grand Prix 31 years ago today. Now checking 5AA traffic.
In Elizabeth South, a crash on Phillip Highway near John Rice Avenue. In Kilkenny, debris on the road following a crash on Torrens Road near David Terrace. Ascot Park is dealing with a burst water main on Marion Road near Dawes Road. Lane restrictions are in place and traffic starting to back up through there. Score a screamer of a deal at BWS. Get a case of Great Northern Super Crisp bottles or cans for $50. Save $8. Hurry, offer ends Sunday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Sunny and 23 today, 25 and mostly sunny tomorrow, then 27 for Sunday and Monday. Right now, 21. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Raglas. Tonight, a Snowtown killer applies for parole. Will he be allowed to walk free? Election controversy as candidates clash outside an Adelaide polling booth. 9 News has the exclusive recordings. Also, the new therapy for high cholesterol. And you've heard of Valerie, but now the story of a long-lost Burmese cat. 9 News. Your news. Nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey,
I am flabbergasted.
And Timmy G.
Absolute sports festival.
Good afternoon. It is Friday. We've reached the end of the week. It's time to crack into what awaits for the weekend of sport. An exciting time indeed for our Footy Friday, thanks to Rusden Wines in the Barossa Valley, home of the Black Cat Shiraz at rusdenwines.com.au. Rowey, Timmy G, good afternoon.
Yeah, started with a puffer jacket, ended up in Reggie Y fronts. I mean, God, ouch today. A round 8 howler already, Essendon v North. It's the new norm. Crows dropped Sid Draper, a WTF. Someone told me what that meant. Porter in Ballarat, for me, care factor. And it's a massive, massive, massive weekend of footy. We're going to speak to Dougie Hawkins. Don't miss that after 5. Everybody's larrikin mate, Timmy, welcome.
Yes, hello, he is. And absolutely, Doug Hawkins, having done a few gigs with him, I just love the way he interacts with people. And he's just a genuine bloke.
A genuine bloke. That's the best way to be. We'll get straight into it. Port v the Bulldogs in Ballarat. Now, that was tongue-in-cheek. I do care because I'd love you guys to win and go into a showdown with both of us in good form. Evans and Lorenz in, Sid and Moraes out. You've never lost at Mars.
No, it's quite a record, isn't it? Considering
that is a record.
Some of the conditions that we've played in as well. To not lose there, and Bulldogs, you would say, in that time frame, have been a reasonable side. They've been a very good side, and I know that they cleaned us up in a prelim one of those years as well. So they're very good. So I don't know what it is. Sometimes we match up okay on them. When we get beat by them, and I'm going to bring this up with Matt Loby, when we get beat by them, it's right in the middle. It's centre clearance, it's stoppage, and it's when, Liberatore and the like just rip us apart. We can't allow that.
Yeah, well, 2 weeks ago, their best player, Bont, come back. Guess who's back this week? Trelaw.
Yeah.
So that have now got the 4 Musketeers in there. Big bit.
And Richards has been playing really well.
Hasn't he? But I don't mind your guys. Ollie's not bad.
Yeah, that's right.
Gee, Butts is not bad.
That's where
Jason Francis is not bad. Drew's not bad. Do you want me to keep going?
Their last 3, obviously, they've started really well.
Yeah.
In the first quarters, they got to do that again. They can't allow themselves to be dictated to against a side like this.
I'm going to predict, because I love big statements, you will win a last quarter
this week.
Wow.
Yes.
I'd rather it this week than
next week.
next
I want to win
week.
the game, though.
I'm not saying whether you win or lose.
No,
but
I
you
want to
win
win the
last
game.
Quarter.
I want to win the game.
Okay, here's Port coach Ken Hinkley.
In really good form, and they're quite different. If you think about what their, some of their challenges, a bit like us, they're dealing with some key forwards out, whether it be Waitman and, whether it be Darcy, we've got Marshall, we've got Lukosius, there's some differences in what we've had to do. Both sides have had to find their way to 4 and 3. Well, obviously, we're clearly level on points, so it's an interesting game, and it's going to be, it's going to be one for both teams that they're going to be desperate to win.
Oh, they're all desperate to win. I mean, 5-3's juicy. All, cosy.
Yeah.
But your team's on par to what you said at the start of the year with your outs. If you can get to...
Just get to that 50%, and they've done that. They've done that well. It's now a matter of trying to accelerate out.
Have you say, Port supporters, are you going? Who is one of the 500?
That is interesting because I was with Rowan Smith and Roger Delaney this morning, and their mothers are big travellers, right? They go to watch the footy everywhere. Yeah. So they'd already, when they saw the... program come out, they'd already booked accommodation in Ballarat, you name it, and then didn't know anything about these ticket situations, so they're desperately scrambling for tickets.
You're kidding.
Yeah, so they're going to be there regardless. So how's that?
Jump the fence.
But that's just, I think it's a miss by the AFL. I really do this one.
Another miss.
I know they
don't
AFL. Miss much, Stephen.
No, they
on this
do
occasion.
not. Have you say, Port supporters, Crows v Carlton tomorrow. Cannot wait for this game. I must say I'm a tad nervous. Fancy me saying that about Carlton. I'm always very confident about them. Crows ins, Berry, Butts, Fogarty and B. Smith. It's not that. They're good. But the outs is what worried me. Matty Crouch, Murray, Hinge. And can you believe it? Yesterday at 10 minutes to 6, it landed that Sid Draper is out. And I said at 4 o'clock, if he's out, I'm going to spew up. And I did.
Yep.
But I spewed up nowhere near as much as 5AA's very own Will Goodings.
I don't get it. I think it's crazy, Timmy.
Yeah.
He comes on as a sub last week. He then goes back and plays in the SANFL. He's best on, has the most touches, most clearances. He's clearly heads and shoulders above any other midfield option there. And then Matt Crouch drops out. Like, it seems like finally you've got this kid who is a top 5 pick that we all know is super talented. He's been played out of position on the half-forward flank with the occasional squirt on ball. Suddenly he's got an opportunity, clearly in form, he's played well on the weekend, to play in his natural position, and you drop him. It just seems bizarre management of a really talented kid, but this is what the Crows have done in recent years.
Will, what are you doing at 4 o'clock? That was really well explained. I'd like you to come. Those blokes on the drive, I tell you, they struggle to spit it out.
That was you on brekkie.
Yeah, it was me bagging myself, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, our captain's sensible, and he is that. He's very pragmatic. He speaks facts. He speaks from experience. He speaks from numbers. Our 5AA's very own Scotty Campriali had this to say on 7.
I've liked what Adelaide have done initially in terms of just not over-explaining, because he has had some physical issues leading into last year, so they're trying to look after him. But for me, talent, just play talent. You know, it's a bit like the Dan Curtin one, just keep playing him. I think the fact that he did go back and was able to play SANFL, that allows him to get some touch and feel and get his hand on the ball. I'd love to see him get some more midfield minutes just around that group to help him develop with those other guys.
Yeah, exactly right. Sid Draper is out. Is that the WTF moment of the season? Cannot wait to speak to Scotty Burns, senior coach of the Crows, senior assistant, after 5. Because clearly we don't know the reasons. Clearly they do.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear them, because I think a lot of Crows supporters want to hear the reasons behind it. Have you say about that? Broadcasters and big buffheads like me in the media have warned the AFL about them ruining the game. You know, the head and all this. We get all of that. I always talk about the fabric of the game to the point where Bix and a lot of other people, shut up, they'll be fine. Just, it'll correct. They tend to overcorrect. But no. They haven't listened to broadcasters, certainly not me. Why would they? They don't listen to players, because you know what players do? They just play, don't they? They don't complain or explain. They just play.
But the Players Association have a big voice.
Well, they do, and they allow them to do it. But when senior premiership coaches are upset, when senior premiership coaches think that AFL House has got it wrong and needs to listen, at the ilk of an Alistair Clarkson, we know what his record's like, who had this to say. Have a listen.
Football action, he gets 3 weeks, someone swings an arm, off the ball incident, gets less. That doesn't make sense. Also doesn't make sense that the AFL come out and say, we might change that at the end of the year. Doesn't help us. We're really disappointed with that, because really strong leadership would say, we understand it's wrong and we'll change it right now. He shouldn't be missing 3 weeks of footy.
Key word there is really strong leadership. Now the other bloke is 3-time premiership coach of the Tigers, Damien Hardwick, and he went even harder.
It's something that we applaud. It's something that's awarded with a free kick, but the reality is accidents are going to happen, and we cannot possibly give a player a 3-week suspension for a football act that was an accident.
So do you think that change should be made now in season, or as long?
Well, it should have been made last year. We spoke about this last year, so I'm not sure why it didn't happen last year, and that's probably more to the questions that you should be asking, because if you go back, the Toby Bedford tackle and there was another player, we all spoke about it then. So why didn't it happen then? Let's get to work. Let's get it changed.
Yeah, well said. Surely the AFL will listen now. Now, that's just 2 coaches. I could have played every coach that have had something in it. These are the coaches, and Timmy, you'll agree with it. They guide, they manage, they develop, they shape, they teach our young players how to be men and, more importantly, players for this game. And if they're confused, they're the last people of the stakeholders you want confused. They're not listening to the fans. They're not listening to broadcast buffheads. The players will play. If they don't listen to coaches, they're a joke.
I think also it's just the lack of action and the rate at which they go to amend something. Exactly. Jimmy Bartell's been banging on about that for a long time. I mean, we've got Brad Scott, who came out of AFL House, you know, criticising it, saying it doesn't move quick enough, and why can't they get this done? So when that sort of voice is being
alarm bells
non-heard, they got to respond to this. They've got to be able to react, and I think that's the whole thing. If I do a leadership talk, I always talk about you need action, and I used to call it a GST, get stuff done. I'll use another word, but get stuff done is the meeting, GSD. And that is what's holding you up, what's blocking you, what's, not allowing you to get your job done properly. And then you look at that and go, right, let's start knocking some of those things off. They're not listening to those people that are feeding back saying, hey, you guys are the leaders of the game. You've got to respond. You've got to act. And that's what we're not seeing. And then I see the Essendon game last night with North Melbourne, several incidents, and it's just sort of, yeah, well, this happened, that happened, da-da-da. How do you fix it? How do you get that moving? How do you, a stretcher comes on the ground. We only spoke about holding the game up. Now, they've been holding the game up for somebody who's limping off with cramp, right, and they're holding the ball. Now, somebody's genuinely hurt with a dislocated ankle. They run the stretcher onto the ground and they throw the ball and allow play to go on.
This was Harrison Jones last night, just before three-quarter time.
Now,
it was ridiculous.
That, to me, is like, 2 weeks ago, we're saying, what are you doing that for? He's only got cramp. This week, he's got a dislocated ankle and there is a stretcher on the ground. That's when you stop play.
Yeah. Essendon, you're talking about that game to North. North lost by 3 points. Well, halfway through the fourth quarter, there was an umpire decision that got reversed by what we think was the rooster upstairs, who's wired to the umpires downstairs.
Well, they say they're not.
No, have a listen.
Free kick. Free kick. Kick the ball away. No. Okay. I'm going to ball it up. I just got word. Thank you. Ball up.
That's our free kick.
Hey?
That's our free kick.
I'm going to ball it up.
So I just got word. So God doesn't talk. He can talk through the chapels. So it wasn't God. That'd be clear. Any God. There's 2,000 of them. Ricky Gervais told us that. So it wouldn't have been a God, including the footy God.
Yeah.
It could have been one of the other three umpires that are apparently all wired together.
So they can hear one another.
But it could have been the snoozer that's upstairs.
Yeah, well, they've denied that. They've said that.
Who's denied that?
Laura Kane has, and said that does not happen, and it did not happen on this occasion.
Hang out, Laura Kane, the general manager of football for the AFL, the same general manager that asked about the standard of umpiring, said at the moment it'd be 2 under par.
So
that same person?
Yes, the same person. Yeah. So they apparently said that that didn't happen. The one thing that I don't mind. I don't mind the other umpire overruling and saying, no, you got the wrong guy. It was actually a North Melbourne player that kicked that. What should have happened then is not ball it up. It's actually, if it's a free kick, it's actually reversed to the right person, which is Essendon.
That's it.
And they didn't do it.
No.
To just ball it up because you made a mistake? No, you don't do that. You just go, got it wrong. Sorry, it's yours. It's just like when an umpire points the wrong way sometimes. Just go, sorry, no, it's that way.
Now, North could have kicked that 20 out, 10 out directly in front. I know it was halfway through the quarter. A lot of other things could happen. But what if no one else... They won by 3. Of course it was a bomber free kick, but they pointed to North. Now, what if it wasn't reversed and they kicked it? They went by 3. Put your hat in if it was your team. You go berserk.
Oh, yeah.
Ken Hinkley said this about Sam Powell-Pepper the other day.
The challenges he's overcome. He's had some challenges, from a very young Sam to now a very mature dad, and an ACL. He's had lots of challenges. He's played midfield when he first got going. He's now become a really valuable member. He creates enormous spirit for our footy club, and he's the spirit leader probably. And we're all proud of him. We'll look forward to hopefully celebrating with him on Saturday in his 150th.
150. It's not about that. Who's your club spirit leader? 822 300 We've got that bottle of Rusden Black Guts Shiraz. Spirit leader for me is that player that dives on a grenade, so to speak. He puts his head in the hole. He courageously wins a ball that needs to be won at the moment. And it's the moments of a game. It might be a smother. It might be a tackle. It might be he kicks that goal that you need to put you in front. He's the spirit leader. Now, SPP is that. For me, for the Crows, it's Tex. How many times has he just popped up when you needed him to? He's our spirit leader.
He's almost, for you, almost like the Buddha sits on the top of the hill. He's like that.
That's him.
He's the
fat Buddha.
Little Yoda.
Yoda.
He's the spiritual leader from that point of view. But it's because of his wisdom.
That's it.
You know, to crack at his ears or anything.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Wow. Well, it's only one ear, isn't it?
Yeah, how dare you assume?
Is it 1 or 2? I thought it was just 1 ear was sideways.
I can't hear you.
Okay. Who is your club's spirit leader? We'd love to have that. Is Sid Draper a WTF moment of the season? Port v Ballarat. Who's going? I mean, Jimmy,
Lots of Bulldogs.
A lot of people going,
Lots of
but
Bulldogs.
They can't get into that howler from the umpires. Have you say, Ball of Rusden, Black Guts, we're away!
There it is.
It's a big day indeed. You can tune in on the live stream. We have Dougie Hawkins joining us ahead of the Port and Dogs game. Matthew Lobe, the ruck coach of Port Adelaide. We have Scott Burns from the Crows. Some tough selection questions to be asked tonight. We have Jason Stubby Holder and Terry McAuliffe as well to talk. Group 1's at Morphettville this weekend, and we'll take your calls next. 8223 0000. Who's your footy club's spirit leader?
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
The Crows' high-flying start to the season has taken a dive after a sloppy performance in the West.
That has broken the Crows' hearts!
Supporters want to see that they're made of the right stuff by bouncing back against the in-form Blues.
They're back! Bring it back to the boil!
Tomorrow, Arvo, on 5AA, it's a season-shaping encounter as the Crows take on Carlton in Adelaide.
An extraordinary goal!
AFL Live on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Less pear.
More Pinot.
Less Crom.
More canapes.
Less Marks.
More marquees.
Less Ferrells.
More frocks. This autumn, give the footy a miss and have a real ball at the Sportsbet Adelaide Racing Carnival, the nation's finest horse racing, April 26 to May 10.
More?
Morphettville.
Cheapest Chips Super Sale is on now. Get $5 off selected Bunnings products. Become a member. Sign up in store or online. Don't miss this week's Cheapest Chips Super Sale. Live cheaper with Cheapest Chips.
Your club's spirit leader, come on, get on the blower. We want interaction. Now, Cleland Fine Foods, the team behind Najobi Beef, is excited to announce they're taking over Mike's Beef Jerky. It's based in the beautiful coastal town of Rowey, South Australia. Oh, we were at the
Royal Show. Right next door to it.
And Mike's Beef, and you said that is the best beef jerky I've ever eaten.
Correct, I did.
True?
Still buy it today.
Oh, my
Still buy it today
God.
because of that moment that we met Mike. He's a much-loved brand known for its bold flavour, smoky finish and top-quality Aussie beef. Now, founders, Mike and Cindy Epp, they built it from the ground up, growing to over 1,300 stockists across the country. Now, they've decided it's time to focus on family and health, and good on them too. They're lovely people. We met them there at the Royal Show a couple of years ago. And Cleland Fine Foods are honoured to carry on their legacy.
How good's that? Najobi Beef too. Cleland Fine Foods has certainly been expanding fast, branding into biltong and pet treats, and retailers like Costco and Drake's and Metcash. So Mike's Beef Jerky is a perfect fit. Same great product, same great team in Rowey, just a little bit of Cleland twist on. How good's that? Hey, you know what? Congratulations to all.
Well done to all.
There's a killer on the loose in an Australian country town. 23-year-old Rochelle Childs leaves work, calls her sister, and is dead within hours. Her burning body found on a remote coastal road. Her killer never caught. Now an unstoppable cold case team is uncovering shocking new evidence. Find Dear Rochelle in your podcast app or visit dearrochelle.com.au for early access and case files.
Parties, weddings, big events. What do they all have in common? Pals. You know your pals want to have a good time, but what will everyone want to drink? That's when you need to speak to Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals will make sure you've got the right type of drinks, the right amount, and best of all, we'll make sure you've got the best labels that will keep everyone talking about your event. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals. Next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Want to make a real difference? Join our clinical trial to support those experiencing pain. CMAX Clinical Research is trialling a new potential treatment aimed at easing acute and chronic pain. If you're aged 18 to 55 and generally healthy, you could be eligible to participate in this exciting research opportunity. Enjoy a 2-night stay at CMAX in Adelaide CBD. Attend one follow-up visit and get paid for your time. Interested in taking part? Apply today at cmax.com.au.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
27 after 4, Dougie Hawkins to join us after 4:30. Thanks to Rossdale Homes, SA's most trusted. They got custom design, fixed pricing and total peace of mind because trust is a must. We're taking your calls, 8223 300 0000. Who's your footy club's spirit leader? Before we get to your calls though, if you'd like a double pass to get to the Adelaide Racing Carnival this Saturday, you got the best and finest horse racing at the SA Derby Day, which is tomorrow, headlined by the $1 million SA Derby. You can get along by calling in now for a double pass, 8223 0055. It's all part of the Sportsbet Adelaide Racing Carnival. If you had enough of footy, you can have a real ball at the track. Let's check your roads.
There's a crash at Elizabeth South on Phillip Highway near John Rice Avenue. Another at Port Noarlunga South Commercial Road just past South Pacific Drive. Over in Kilkenny, debris from a crash is affecting Torrens Road near David Terrace, and water mains are causing issues too. One's burst on Marion Road at Ascot Park near Dawes Road, and another just down the road in Marston near Allington Avenue. IGA's catalogue specials are on sale now, like Cadbury Chocolate Roses, 225 gram box for mum, only $6 each at selected IGA stores till Tuesday while stocks last. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Wow.
All right, taking your calls, 8223 0000. G'day, Doug.
Dougie!
Yeah, g'day, guys. Before I get on to my spiritual leader, I just want to give a shout-out to Keenan Ramsey. He retired today.
Just heard that, Doug. Yeah. North Adelaide champ. Played a lot of state footy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is a good leader at times. So, but yeah, Rory Sloane, like during 2016, 17, and even parts of 18, he was a great spiritual leader.
Yes,
I remember that bump on Dangerfield. Like as soon as he did that in that prelim, you knew that the whole team was behind him. Like coming off of a appendix surgery like 2 weeks before, it's stuff like that from leaders that really set the team going for the game. You know,
Dougie, good call. Spiritual leaders, they're the ones that can pick a moment and insert themselves in that moment. And not selfishly, from an act of team thing. So they're definitely one of those 1%ers. Rory knew moments and boy.
Might not be your captain, might not be...
it don't have to be a captain.
Exactly, just could be
a spiritual leader.
Well done. Let's go to Johnny at Port Augusta. G'day, Johnny.
Tim, Rowey. Hey, listen, fellas. Timmy, who do we put on Bontempelli? Is it William Draw, I assume? And then you got Trelaw back and goodness knows what. And also a comment on Dancing Dougie Hawkins you got on later on. It's a bit of a Footscray session. I can remember that as a 17-year-old when I'm really getting my footy and all the rest of it, and my sport in general, that 1985 final series where Dougie Hawkins lit up, and what a player, Dancing Dougie, the old number 7 at Footscray. And he was have a wing named after him at the Western Oval, Whitten Oval.
Yes.
And just an amazing player, an amazing, great bloke. And also he, I was barking for Footscray in 1985, that preliminary final, when they lost to Hawthorn. I remember that. I can remember that. I was keen for Footscray to win because I was sick of Hawthorn, Dermot, Dipper, all of those blokes. And they lost by 7 or 8 points. So I was really shattered. So...
That was the closest he got to, Johnny. It was the closest he got to getting in a grand final, Dougie. But, geez, he played an unbelievable game that game too. I think it's one of the best games he played in his career. But an absolute champion of the game, but an absolute champion bloke too, Doug Hawkins. Absolute
Who is your club's spiritual leader? 8223 0000 is the number. Headlines coming up, and we'll speak to Dougie next.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, I'm Kendall Brettig. Convicted killer James Vlasakis is seeking release on bail after serving 26 years for 4 of the bodies in the Barrels murders. 3 people are in hospital after a helicopter crash in Victoria. The curtain's drawing to a close on the election campaign, with 2 SA seats on a knife edge. And Crows forwards Darcy Fogarty and Riley Thilthorpe are expected to be okay to play Carlton tomorrow despite nursing injuries. Now checking 5AA traffic.
There's a crash at Elizabeth South on Phillip Highway near John Rice Avenue, another at Port Noarlunga South Commercial Road just past South Pacific Drive. Over in Kilkenny, debris from a crash is affecting Torrens Road near David Terrace, and water mains are causing issues too. One's burst on Marion Road at Ascot Park near Dawes Road, and another just down the road in Marlston near Allington Avenue. IGA's catalogue specials are on sale now, like Cadbury Chocolate Roses, 225-gram box for mum, only $6 each at selected IGA stores till Tuesday while stocks last. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast mostly sunny tomorrow, a high of 25. At the moment, 21. More news at 5 o'clock on 5AA, always Adelaide.
The state government yesterday announced that the old Department of Hydrogen will be no more.
David Penberthy.
There's no green hydrogen, so why do we need a department? Don't know why this one took so long.
Will Goodings.
It does increasingly feel like the Whaler Steelworks debacle provided welcome cover for the state government to show what was a dud of a policy.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
Oh, totally. Well, it was convenient for them.
5AA Breakfast.
The private sector's running away from green hydrogen a million miles an hour.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Gliderol Garage Doors have been manufacturing and installing doors in SA since 1974. From roller doors and sectional doors to customer designer doors and timber doors, the Gliderol range allows you to upgrade the street appeal of your home to any style. We also supply and install insulated sectional doors. Aside from the perfect smooth finish, insulated doors provide thermal and acoustic benefits. Call Gliderol on 1300 799 177 or visit gliderol.com.au.
When you hear Vinnie's SA, what comes to mind? Is it crisis centres for men and women in Adelaide? Or Vinnie's Society members visiting homes, delivering food, baby bundles and other essentials? Do you think of the crisis line, offering support during life's most distressing moments? Or the thousands of meals prepared so vulnerable people don't go hungry? Vinnie's is so much more than your local op shop. Donate or volunteer today. vinnies.org.au/SA.
Hi, Malcolm Blight here for Knowles Caravans, home of Island Star. For over 50 years, they've had the best selection of new vans, or they can custom build one in just 10 to 12 weeks. Or look around at 100 second-hand vans, perfect for travelling around our beautiful country, or if you need an extra room at home, subject to council approvals.
Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans.
Knowles Caravans, 561 Salisbury Highway, Greenfields, opposite Mawson Lakes. Trusted for quality, driven for adventure.
What makes distinctive homes so distinctive? See for yourself at Hurtle Grove, where you'll find our new display homes, showcasing the latest in design, style and function, where inspiration is around every corner. If you're thinking of building your new home, be distinctive with Distinctive Homes, affordable boutique homes. Visit our new Hurtle Grove display homes now, just off Raynell Road, Old Ranella. Find out more at distinctivehomes.com.au.
Forget having mulch or compost dumped on your driveway. It's messy and it gets in the way. Instead, order cubic metre Hulker bags of Living Earth compost or mulch. Hulker bags can be delivered where most tip trucks can't get to, and it's Australian Standard certified. Plus, when you've emptied it, fill your Hulker bag with approved hard waste, and Integrated Waste Services will take it away for a discount price. Google Hulker bag now, spelt HULCA. Hulker bag.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
I don't know, we're undefeated at Ballarat. Maybe that's a good thing, I don't know. We have got some understanding of the ground. We know what it's like, we know what it presents. We know the challenges of playing at Ballarat, but once the game starts, we don't really look at the scenery too much to see where we're playing, we just play.
24 minutes to 5. Port Adelaide with their last 3 games being wins. The Dogs off a 2-game win streak. They're even on a record of 4-3 at the moment. It's going to be a great battle. Port Adelaide and the Dogs live on 5AA tomorrow. And all thanks to Sharman Shelving, who have moved their showroom next door into the big white building, still at 412 North East Road. Let's head to Alberton.
Absolutely. Port Adelaide take on the Western Bulldogs, as you just heard, at Ballarat. And we've got, one of the development coaches works with the big fellas as well, Matty Lobe. G'day, Matty.
G'day, Timmy. How you going?
All right, buddy. You just heard Ken. We got a record that we got to keep intact here, mate. Undefeated at Ballarat, but it's a bigger challenge this time. Only going to have about 500 supporters.
Yeah, maybe. 2 from 2. so far there. I haven't actually been out there, so looking forward to it. But the Bulldogs are in good form, so it's going to be a pretty good battle, I reckon.
I agree. Bulldogs, when they've beaten us, it's always been around stoppage and centre clearance for me. We have to be up for that fight right from the first bounce with them.
Yeah, we do. We've been good the last few games against them.
Yes.
In the centre, but I 100% agree. I think that's what it's going to come down to. They've got a lot of good players with elite hands in there. They create a bit of movement, so it'll be us managing that, bringing great pressure and letting our mids go to work from there.
Their forward line, they sort of got the two talls now with a couple of guys out. They have good smalls as well, but I feel like we covered their six, if you like, their main six. I think we covered that off all right.
We have in the past, and obviously we'll be looking to do that again. They might throw something different at us, but Ali's done a good job against them, and he's had great support as well. So that'll be a crucial part of the game too.
Manny, I'm enjoying the growth of Ollie Lord. He and Mitch could end up a real good duo with a bit of continuity.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see Lordy have a couple of good games in a row. He had a really good pre-season and then had that shoulder niggle which kept him out of the early few rounds. Great to see him be able to play some role games and then get a bit of finish on top as well. And when you've got Mitch doing what he does and being really dynamic and hard to play on, and then Lordy, he can be really reliable and solid for us. It's a really good mix.
How you going, you think, post-Charlie? Is it bigger, better? What are the numbers telling you? You always went with the three tools. It's now just the two. And it's not by design, I don't think, because you've got a fair few injuries. I know if Luco or Marshall were around, they might be in. What are the numbers telling you post-Charlie?
Well, I think when we get our ball movement right, it's been really good. It's probably been, it's been a process to get that, and we've shown patches of that. It's been different though. Like we set up for Luco and Toddy, and obviously they're not there, so had to adapt again. But for us, it's still building, but there's been signs of it being really promising.
Yeah. I don't know whether the numbers are telling you getting more goal kickers, 8 different goal kickers, 9, 10, 5. I don't know what the numbers are. I haven't seen them, but it appears to be more of a multi-dimensional scoring option to me, and they're hard to shut down.
Yeah, and that's been a big part of it, and also about where we can get our shots from. So trying to get looks in better positions where we can actually score more accurately. So I think we've been able to do that when the ball movement in's been what we want it to be.
Yeah. Were you impressed with those two words I put together there, multi-dimensional?
Not bad at all, Rowey.
I was multi-impressed, I was.
Well, the only reason I say that, Manny, I'm looking straight at my co-host, Timmy, and his eyes. What?
Oh, dear, I'm having an effect. Hey, Matty, what about Jordan Sweet? How have you seen him this season? He's had some terrific battles.
He has. I've been obviously working really closely, and it's a really tough competition in the ruck. Every single week you're up against a good opponent. So there's no easy weeks at all. I mean, last week he's played a great opponent who played a really good game again last night. So got Timmy English, who he knows very well this week. He's been good. He was good last year when we played him. It'll be another big challenge again. Obviously, Tim's a great runner and really mobile around the ground, so that's a big part of it, managing that.
Yeah, because I knew he fired up for that one. Of course, couldn't get a game in front of English over there at the Bulldogs, but it's one of those ones you really want to prove that, the old coach is wrong as such. But you're right. I think you'll win when it comes to that body-on-body and stoppage work and the like, but it's the other things that English does that he's got to counter.
Yeah, like it's trying to really use his strengths as best as he can while managing Tim's strength, which is movement, which you've just got to do to the best ability that you can. And it's also a team effort how you manage that, as he does like to go forward as well.
Rory Lobb, sometimes back, sometimes forward. Don't know where he's going to land. As far as us covering that off, because if he does go forward, is that an Aaliyah job or is it an Asava, a Radigalia? Because he's in good form as well.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit dependent on how the game's flowing. We definitely don't know where he'll start. Lob, he's reinvented himself a few times in his career,
and his hairdos.
Definitely. There's always a fresh hairdo every time we're prepping for a game against them. But I'm expecting if he goes forward, he'll pinch it in the ruck as well. So I think we just got to be ready for anything, and any opponent can play on him.
Kenny called Sam Powell-Pepper the spiritual leader or the spirit guy. You'd have words to say about his 150th. He has been pure spirit, hasn't he?
He really has. Like, for me, I saw him come in as a young, really talented player, and then I went away for a few years and come back, and he was a totally different person. He was already a leader of the club, and the boys like to call him Dad because he just loves being a dad. But he really is like that as well to all the young players. So, he definitely is a real big part of the club and the way that we play every game as well. So, pumped for him to get the 150, and I know the boys will put in a really good effort for him.
There's a lot of interest for me watching Port. One of them tomorrow is going to be Jason Horne-Francis. I love this kid. I'd love him to walk up to Tom Liberatore in that centre square and pull on his handlebar moustache. Get one in each hand and just give him a big...
That would be nice. I don't know if that one will happen. But he's so exciting to watch. Like it takes me a bit longer to watch the games back because you just love watching him play and what he can do. He's obviously a young player and still learning and developing and managing the emotions of the game, which he's getting better at. So looking forward to seeing him have a crack again tomorrow.
Okay. So your ruck midfield connection, does he know the general area it's going to be hit? Is he meant to be connecting when he's with Sweet? When he gets on the box, like he is either a genius at that or he knows exactly where it's going to be or a bit of both. That on the fly to run forward a stoppage is a leap beyond a leap.
Yeah, he's obviously got really good natural footy instincts, but he's also that player that you can actually talk to him and he knows what's going on. He can read what's happening and verbalise it as well. So I can see that as he grows and matures, he'll be able to really lead that midfield group with what he's seeing. Probably similar to how Robbie did, Robbie Gray in the last few years of his career.
Hey, Matty, Christian Moraes, he came out of the team. He got 5 games. It was a nice block for a young fella, I think, on debut. I like the fact that he got that block of games in. He now goes back. How's he handled that for one? But it's now like for you guys as development coaches, sort of encouraging him to say, look, you've already played 5 games. This is going to be really good for you, and not dropping the head or dropping the confidence.
Yeah, he's a unique one because he's super, super motivated and he sort of can't see past how motivated he is. So we definitely try and support him, and I just don't think this will set him back at all. I think he'll just get more motivated from it. It's a great block for a first-year player to get 5 games early. He's still not far off it at all. So I can still see him coming back and playing a really solid year for us.
Hey, Josh Lai, hurt his hand. Is he going to be out long? Because I've got a lot of time for him, the way he plays.
Yeah, so he'll be out for 3 to 4 at the moment. That's what we're being told. Just to manage it the right way as a young player, but he's shown a lot of promise in his first few games, coming off really local footy, banging into the Sandful and playing some good footy.
Yeah, keep an eye on him. Keep developing him, mate. Keep doing the work you're doing, and let's get a win at Mars Stadium.
Thanks, Timmy. Will do.
Matty Lobey, our guest, of course, a development and works with the big fellas there at Alberton.
And does a great job. All thanks to Sharman Shelving, who have moved their showroom next door to the big white building. They're still there at 412 North East Road. 4:45 lines available. Love to have your calls. We've got that Rusden Black Guts to give away. We might do that before 5, so get to it. Hey, I'm just looking out over the Adelaide Hills from our 5AA.
You do a lot
building.
of hill watching.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, I like
that about you.
A magnificent day.
Hills are alive.
And some billows of smoke is what I'm looking at. So we've looked it up. There are 2 prescribed controlled burn-offs by the CFS, so no panic required in Cleveland and Ashton.
Yes.
So whenever I see smoke, and a lot of people in Adelaide do, a lot of people live up in their hills, you think, God, what's happening? But no, it's a controlled
Be alert,
burn-off.
but not alarmed.
I like it.
It was a campaign.
Smokey Dawson was the bear. You Smokey Dawson head.
Stacey was talking about little sayings for her campaigns not that long ago on the show. It's time for a quick break. We'll check your traffic. It's 14 minutes to 5, and then we'll get back to your calls for Rusden, Blackgut, Shiraz, 8223 0000.
At Elizabeth South, there's a crash on Phillip Highway near John Rice Avenue. Another crash at Port Noarlunga South on Commercial Road just past South Pacific Drive. In Kilkenny, debris from a crash is slowing things down on Torrens Road near David Terrace, and a breakdown in Paralawi on Boulevard Road near Port Wakefield Road is making it slow going for outbound. Now at Harvey Norman, get 10% in gift cards plus bonus local delivery on selected Hisense TVs, fridges, washers and more. Conditions apply. Go Harvey Norman. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
One bite of KFC's habanero hot and crispy and I was like, 6 golden pieces of hot and crispy drizzled in a mouth-watering habanero sauce. Hits you right in the feel-goods. Whew. Taste the habanero hot and crispy high. KFC. FLG. Not everywhere and not forever.
Cheapest Chips Super Sale is on now. Get $5 off selected Brunnings products. Become a member. Sign up in store or online. Don't miss this week's Cheapest Chips Super Sale. Live cheaper with Cheapest Chips.
At Coles, there's great value, hands down, across fruit and veg this week. Like delicious South Australian pink lady apples for just $3 a kilo. Get great value, hands down, at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
Less pear, that's pear. Less pear, more pitto.
Less crom, more canapes.
What the hell's crom?
That's your Adelaide Crow thing.
Less marks, more marquees.
Less clangers, more caviar.
Now let's get to it. We're talking about the Sportsbet Adelaide Racing Carnival. It's this Saturday, May the 3rd. Give the footy a bit of a miss. Give it a flick. I mean, the umpire's crap. The games, Crows will win, Port will win. Next week's the big one because it's the showdown. It's free entry for general admission. It's the nation's finest horse racing at SA's Derby Day. It's our Derby Day.
It is.
Dress up, get down there. Headlined by the $1 million SA Derby.
It is. It is on. It's race 8, 4:05 p.m. Gold Rush Guru will be talking to the jockey, Jason Holder, a bit later in the show. He's a big chance on that one, local horse. The Sportsbet Adelaide Racing Carnival. It's this Saturday, May 3rd. It's got less mullets, more meringues, more for Bill.
Oh, here's one. Hey, you leaving, mate?
Yeah, one sec, buddy.
Okay, no worries.
Oh, come on. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up.
Parking, turning you into someone you're not. Search UPark app today.
Unique, loyal, fun-loving. That's what we look for in our pals. When you're next spending time with your best friends, don't forget some of the best pals you can have. Parafield Airport Liquor Store has your everyday favourites right through to those hard-to-find products. That's what great pals do. Sam and Jamie from Parafield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf, so you can always rely on their advice. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals. Next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
If you're a gardener, then you know the first place you want to be is in your garden. The second is a garden grove, sipping a really good coffee while you tuck into a scrumptious breakfast. Or sipping a glass of wine and chatting over the chef's special. Because the thing about Garden Grove is, it's not just the garden centre that's amazing. So is the cafe.
Garden Grove, the garden that I want.
gardengrove.com.au. Golden Grove.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
9 minutes to 5, Scotty Burns from the Crows to join us after 5, and 5AA has your chance to get showdown tickets next Saturday night. If you want to, you can even score a night's accommodation at the Pullman. Your chance to win by heading to 5AA.com.au or through the 5AA player app and stream 5AA to get in the draw. Kick off your AFL experience at Pullman Adelaide, the top stay in the East End. Book now at pullmanadelaide.com.au.
So we opened the show with Sid Draper got dropped. We found out at 10 to 6 yesterday, and I spewed up, and I thought this is a real WTF moment. What are they doing? Not one Crows person has rung to say, Rowey, mate, they know what they're doing. Shut up. They'll do what's best for him. So clearly, Crows people that listen to us think Sid had to go. I don't. Now, we'll speak to Scott Burns after 5, and it made me think, I remember Matty Nicks on Selection Day Thursday talking about Sid Draper. Here's what he said.
He's shown some really good signs, I think, going back to the SANFL, got just some footy back in his hands and, got him, just let him loose to play around. There's a fair bit we're still working on with him, and the best part about that is he's coachable. He wants to learn. He's able to change his game on the weekend at half-time and work on areas we know are going to improve him and make us a better team. So, that decision will be made very much around what we think's best for him.
What's best for him? So you've made the decision.
I'd let him loose in the AFL.
Yeah,
That's what I would do.
So this is what I'm saying. So you've made the decision on what's best for him, and you've decided to drop him and play him in the SANFL. Now, I watched that first half, and then he spoke about the second half. They got him to work on another couple of things. He's, you don't want to say he's too good for the SANFL, but he's a cut above. He's a cut above that level.
There's a reason he's drafted at number 4 or whatever.
In God's name, is he going to learn by going back there when he played a half last week?
You did hear Will Goodings this morning.
Yeah, he went off.
Absolutely, totally befuddled he was.
Can I say what's best for him? Is playing the league he's born to play, and that is the AFL. That's what's best for him.
Matt Crouch out, get him in the middle, let him get 40
God.
for you.
God.
That's what I'd like. Hey, let's go and talk to Dennis. G'day, mate.
Yes.
Okay, Timmy, Stephen. 2 quick things, Timmy.
Yeah.
Just the next 4 weeks, we'd have to win 2 of those, wouldn't we? You got Bulldogs, Adelaide, Geelong, and Fremantle.
Yes, correct.
Oh, God, you could go
We'd have to
0-4
win
on
a
that.
minimum of 2 of them, wouldn't we?
You could go 0-4 on that, Dennis.
Yeah,
well, we could go 4-0 too, mate.
Yeah, you're right.
Good
Dan,
boy.
you're right. It's a big month.
Timmy, what's been eating at me all week is those 2 Farrell and Wines got penalised holding the ball last week.
Yes.
And they're lying on the ground, and the North Melbourne bloke standing over him and not letting him up off the ground. And these umpires, they don't show common sense. They don't say to the North Melbourne bloke, let him up. They go, 50 metres, time wasting. That's bugged me all week, those 2.
I think Ollie Wines one, he got taken high and he thought, it must be my free kick. So he wasn't giving the ball up because he thought it was his free kick. As it turned out, the umpire paid holding the ball and that's why he gave it 50. But, look, Dennis, I have to concur with you. It's a big month, and if Port at 4-3, if you're able to steal 2 to 3 of those, you end up with a 6 or 7 to 5 sort of ratio. It's not too bad. 7-4 looks pretty good, but again, that's looking into the future. You shouldn't do it. You've got to be playing in the moment.
I read a stat that 16 million people tuned in last night to watch the IPL, to watch the young kid that got that 100. Well, that's a massive number. It's not as many people as in Australia. Got a text from Jeff. I watched the young Indian kid in the IPL last night. ... Second ball duck.
Yeah.
That's cricket.
That's cricket. And that is BBL especially.
That is cricket.
Our good friend Yuri. G'day, mate.
Yuri.
G'day, boys. How are you?
Good.
Now, Mr. Stephen Ray, what is happening at the parade? Reserves, but number one, the reserves won the premiership last year. First game of the season this year, they kicked 1 goal to Glenelg's, who did they play? North 18. That's reserve, and their legs are just not going great. What's it all about, Rowey?
Well, they lost their ruckman. It's more than that. They got a new coach, and it's more than that. Sheeds will get this group going, Yuri. Don't worry about it. He's trying to tweak a bit. Maybe he might have tweaked too much. What we do know about Twig and the Nord teams, they were very dedicated, very disciplined, great running team, and he had a real style about how he's played. Now, that's ingrained in him. When another coach comes in, and even if he's making the slightest of tweaks, it can affect them. 0-4, they wouldn't be happy. They're getting a few more blokes back. He'll get it together, mate. And
I'm
the second half of the year will be... No, don't be stressed. I rate Sheeds enormously.
We hope so, anyway. I'm so depressed. I need a black Shiraz. What can you do for me?
A black
I'm such a regular, mate. I love this station.
Yuri, I know you do, and we love you. When you get the name right, we might get you Rusden Black Gut Shiraz.
There it is.
Very funny. See you later. Bye.
One thing I will say...
He's a good fella.
Yeah, one thing I will say is Finn Hurd is having to carry the ruck duties.
Well,
they
exactly.
They thought Luke Sermon might do it. He unfortunately got injured. He had a good pre-season, but he got injured. You lost Lachlan McAndrew to the Adelaide Crows. You lost Harry Boyd,
Well, we
obviously,
didn't
to St
lose him.
Kilda.
He got poached. He got stolen.
So it's really left those stocks thin because you lost young Van Wyck, who was your reserves ruckman, who he wanted a game at A grade and had to go to North Adelaide. So, look, I think Finn Hurd is working his butt off to trying to do that, and it's a little unfair, but don't worry, I'm with you and Yuri. They were very good against Glenelg.
They'll get there.
Yeah. Well, they played the Crows in Port Perry on Sunday afternoon.
Centenary Oval.
Centenary Oval.
Down there.
Indeed. It is 3 minutes to 5. We're going to speak to Scott Burns, the Crows assistant coach. Next, lots of talk around Sid Draper. We'll ask the tough questions after the news.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Unpack the wonder of a remarkable archaeological discovery, the treasures of the Viking Age at the South Australian Museum. See gold, silver and unique heirlooms from the astonishing Galloway Hoard. On now until the 27th of July. Book now at samuseum.sa.gov.au.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Oh, Danny boy. Damien Leith is back with Island Orchestrated. A breathtaking night of Ireland's greatest classics, backed by a stunning orchestra. Sing along to timeless favourites like Danny Boy, Galway Girl, You Raise Me Up, Molly Malone, and more. This is Ireland like you've never heard before. Her Majesty's Theatre, Saturday, 17th of May.
Be inspired with a trip to Virginia Home and Garden. Discover SA's biggest range with over 12,000 square metres of indoor and outdoor plants, fruit trees and ornamental trees, shrubs and hedges. Over 70% of our plants are grown here in the nursery. So not only are they grown for SA conditions, you'll pay less. Virginia Home and Garden also has the right indoor and outdoor pots in every size, colour and texture. Nurture yourself with nature at Virginia Home and Garden. Not just a nursery.
Just call Ken Hall. We'll be there anytime at all. Just call Ken Hall.
Winter is coming, bringing blocked drains, cold showers, leaking roofs and a chilly home. Don't worry, just call Ken. We'll be there when you need us. Ken Hall will get your home ready for winter with heater servicing, gutter cleaning and roof inspections. Stay safe and warm this winter. Just call Ken. Working for you since 1983.
Just call Ken Hall.
Looking for a way to make a difference while you earn? Do both by joining a clinical trial. If you're aged 18 to 55 and generally healthy, CMAX Clinical Research invites you to help trial a new potential treatment for epilepsy. Eligible participants will spend 3 nights at CMAX, attend 3 follow-up visits and get paid for their valuable time. Join and make a positive impact for over 50 million people experiencing epilepsy. Interested? Apply today at cmax.com.au. Vinnie's SA is so much more than your local op shop. Vinnie's is crisis centres, men's and women's, in Adelaide. Vinnie's is thousands of meals prepared so vulnerable people don't go hungry. Vinnie's is local society members visiting homes, delivering food, baby bundles and other essentials. Vinnie's is a crisis line offering help during life's most distressing moments. Vinnie's SA. Donate or volunteer today. vinnies.org.au/SA.
Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. We're finding Adelaide is attracting people not only for its events and festivals, but for the long term, whether they're investing or making the move here. Last year, a significant number of our buyers came from interstate or overseas, making this an ideal time to showcase your home to a wider audience. At Toop and Toop, we have proven strategies to connect your property with the right buyers and ensure no opportunity is missed. Visit toop.com.au. Toop and Toop, Adelaide's trusted real estate advisors.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Clear tonight and mostly sunny tomorrow, a high of 25. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Experience the smooth, rich flavour of McCafe today. Expertly crafted by trained baristas, just the way you like.
James Vlasakis is hoping to become the second Bodies in the Barrels killer to be released on parole. He helped commit 4 of the grisly murders in the 1990s and was sentenced to a minimum 26 years in jail. He's now applied for release. Accomplice Mark Ray Hayden was released into the community last year after spending 25 years behind bars. The opposition leader is confident the coalition can win the federal election tomorrow. Both leaders have been travelling the nation campaigning today and trying to capture last-minute votes. Peter Dutton has spent the final day in SA and WA. He says there are a number of issues they're ready to tackle.
Got a plan out there, a positive plan, which helps people immediately with a 25 cent a litre cut in petrol. Home ownership is a huge issue. We want to restore home ownership through our 5-point plan, and we want to reduce crime in our suburbs and keep our country safe, and do all of that if we manage the economy well and bring inflation down and bring interest rates down. And
But the latest freshwater poll shows Labor will likely win, but will need the help of either the Greens or Independents to form government. Anthony Albanese says having a majority government would offer greater stability.
What we'll do is we're striving for majority government. And I'm not a commentator, other people are that. My job is to maximise Labor's vote in the next 48 hours. That's what I'm intending to do.
A 60-year-old grandmother has died after a freak driveway accident in Para Hills last night. Deborah Dennett was crushed between her car and house in Lenore Avenue. Neighbours, including Kevin Clark, rushed to her aid.
We both came running out down the driveway, saw what was happening. The car was jammed up against the wall. We were talking to her, saying, "You'll be okay, but just keep talking to us, keep talking to us."
Sadly, she died from her injuries at the scene. A report is being prepared for the coroner. Engine failures believed to be the cause of a helicopter crash near Ocean Grove, southwest of Melbourne today. The pilot and 2 passengers were treated by paramedics on the beach before being taken to hospital. This witness saw the wreckage in the water.
We were kind of held back about 100 metres or so, but you could definitely see that there was something in the water.
The ATSB will investigate the crash. President Donald Trump's national security advisor's been replaced after war plans were accidentally shared to a journalist on a chat group. More from US correspondent Jonathan Kersley.
Mike Waltz has been under pressure ever since it emerged. He had added a journalist to a chat group on the app Signal, where Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth texted details about American attacks on the Houthis in Yemen. But rather than removing him from the administration altogether, President Donald Trump has instead nominated Mr. Waltz to be ambassador to the United Nations. The Commander-in-Chief declaring Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be the interim national security advisor.
And at least 10 people have died and dozens more are injured after a bus crash in the northern Philippines. It's believed the driver initially told investigators he dozed off before slamming into a row of cars at a highway toll booth. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Flash sale event now on at Gasman. For 6 days, enjoy up to 50% off selected styles. Ends Sunday.
The Crows have trained ahead of tomorrow's clash at home against Carlton. Forwards Darcy Fogarty and Riley Thilthorpe got through okay and are expected to line up. Meantime, Port have had a captain's run in Ballarat. Assistant coach Matthew Lobe says they'll have to come out fighting against the Bulldogs tomorrow.
They've got a lot of good players with elite hands in there. They create a bit of movement, so it'll be us managing that, bringing great pressure and letting our mids go to work from there.
Tonight, St Kilda hosts Fremantle at Marvel Stadium, while Western Bulldogs coach Luke Beveridge has told the media to move on in the wake of more issues surrounding troubled player Jamara Ugle-Hagan.
I've answered these questions before, and I just said that there's a club statement, and to respect now Jamara's privacy and what he's going to go through, and as I said, keeping the focus on this week and what's up ahead, let's move beyond it.
Ugle-Hagan has taken indefinite leave from the Bulldogs. And the state government and basketball power brokers are holding talks about the future of the Adelaide Lightning. All players had their contracts terminated yesterday, and it's unclear whether the embattled club will be admitted to the revamped National League. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At O'Sullivan Beach, there's a truck breakdown on Morrow Road near Hales Drive. In Paralowie, another breakdown on Bolivar Road near Port Wakefield Road is causing slow traffic outbound. A crash at Port Noarlunga South on Commercial Road just past South Pacific Drive is also adding to the delays. And over at Ascot Park, a burst water main on Marion Road near 2nd Avenue. Score a screamer of a deal at BWS. Get a bottle of Chris Ringland Barossa Shiraz for $20, save $12. Hurry, offer ends Sunday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Clear tonight and 25 and mostly sunny tomorrow. 27 for both Sunday and Monday. Then a shower or two for Tuesday, 23. At the moment, 20. Now let's see what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Raglas. Tonight, a Snowtown killer applies for parole. Will he be allowed to walk free? Election controversy as candidates clash outside an Adelaide polling booth. 9 News has the exclusive recordings. Also, the new therapy for high cholesterol. And you've heard of Valerie, but now the story of a long-lost Burmese cat. 9 News. Your news. Nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey.
I am flabbergasted.
And Timmy G.
Absolute sports festival. 7 after 5 on this Rusden Footy Friday. Still to come this hour on the show. We'll speak to an absolute legend, a great character of the game, Dougie Hawkins, as the Dogs take on Port Adelaide this week. He'll come on at 5:30 tonight. We have Jason Stubby-Holer ahead of the SA Derby Day at Morpheville. And a late change for us when we're talking racing here on the show tonight. Terry McAuliffe out.
Scratching.
We have scratching. John Kelton in.
Wow. So it's like the favourites come into the race.
That's right.
Well, that'll get back, Timmy.
And I hope it does.
So what's happened to Mr. Carlton?
I don't know.
He's running scared. He didn't want to speak to me tonight.
You know why?
Well, Crows are playing Carlton.
And he's and Carlton are in town.
He's
and he's out the front of the hotel trying to get autographs as they go through the reception. I guarantee that's what he's doing.
No, I'll guarantee he's getting a cashy for something.
No, we'll still take your calls as well. For Rusden Blackguards, 8223 0000 is the number. And whether your block's the size of Adelaide Oval or the Gold Square, you can get in touch with your great mates and our great mates by customising your build with Sterling Homes, our major Crows sponsor, celebrating 50 years of business as well. They've been outstanding.
I said this time last week. Crows have a massive game. That was versus FIVEAA. Now it's Carlton. It's tomorrow. We'll be calling it. I know their best is good enough. Let's hope we can see it. Joining us is Crows Senior Assistant Scotty Burns. Scotty, welcome.
G'day, Rowey. Tim, how you going?
That's the key, isn't it? Your best is good enough. We just need to see it for longer.
Yeah. Played some pretty good teams. Obviously, the Gold Coast are going pretty well. Fremantle are going well. So those teams that we haven't quite got over the top of. The disappointing one really was that Geelong one when we had that good start and let them come home hard late against us at Adelaide Oval. They're all good teams as we've seen over the last 12 to 18 months. There's certainly not much in it when you go from that 4th or 5th position down to about 12th.
Yeah. Now, 10-6. Yesterday, I said to the team, if they drop Sid Draper, I'm going to spew up. well, Scotty, at 10-6, I spewed up. Can I start with the decision around, so I can get my head around it, and a lot of supporters, and a lot of people texting in, get our head around why you dropped Sid Draper?
Well, he's had a good opportunity. He's been in for 7 or 8 weeks. I haven't felt that Sid's probably been on the top of his game. It's been great. There's not too many young kids that will come in and play those first 7, 8 Rowey, and he probably, for us in the match committee, just needs ball in hand a little bit. And it was really pleasing that he could go back last week after he was sub for us and play a pretty good game there in the SNFL. But he's just in his early journey as an AFL footballer. And at the moment, we've got some AFL mids that are playing reasonable football, and it's pretty hard to get in there.
I'm not going to cop that. He's given a fair go. His debut was a sub. He's been a sub for 3 games in a row. 4 games in a row. Sub last week. Load the kid up, Burnsy. What in God's name are you doing? I had Matty Nix yesterday say, we'll do what's best for Sid Draper. Scotty, what's best for Sid Draper is to bloody play.
And what's best for the team. Round 5 and 6, he wasn't a sub. Round 7, probably, Rory, I'm not sure what you're seeing that I'm not seeing. But, yeah, look, the young fella's been pretty good. He's got a bit of a taste for it, but he definitely needs to get that ball in hand and get a bit of confidence back.
Okay. All right. And then he went back. Did you watch his game against?
Yeah, that was live against your young fella. Yeah. They were good, the Eagles, last week too. Really good. No, that was really pleasing that he could go back. He's got some great AFL attributes, that speed and power and clean at ground level. There's a few things we need to improve on over the next 12 to 18 months, but it's not a race. We're not trying to get there flat out at this point in time. And like I said, there's some pretty good players at the moment in our midfield that are playing good football. And it's hard also for a young fellow when they come in and they are midfielders to play that higher forward role, which he had a little bit. So he's got a taste for it. It's been great. We're really pleased with the way he's going. And hopefully, he gets that confidence over the next few weeks and gets back in sooner than later.
And again, I don't want to be a wanker, but he's not a high half forward, mate. He's a midfielder. Play him in the midfield.
Yeah, that's right. But who are you taking out of the midfield, Rowey?
Oh, Berry, Taylor. I've got him in front.
Taylor hasn't played in midfield.
Well, he's in the team.
But he hasn't played midfield. He's a forward.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got that wrong, haven't I? And I need to be a bit more patient. Is that what you're saying? And the fans that come flooding in about it with an explanation, we've got to be a bit more patient with him.
I think it's actually, no, we don't know who's right or wrong at this point in time because there's never the coaches that can put their hands up and say they're right all the time either, Rowey. You may well have this one right. But the thing is, what I've seen since I've been back to Adelaide is we fall in love really quickly with our early drafted players. And we think they should all be playing all the time. And it's like I said, it is a journey. I played with a pretty good player in Alan Didak that played 4 games in his first year and was a dual best and fairest winner and dual All-Australian. So some are, they present quicker than others. And, we've seen it with, I think there was Riley Thilthorpe when he came in after he was in the reserves for a while and he kicked 5 goals. And I reckon it was this show, I think it was you, Rowey, that said to me, just make sure he never plays SANFL again. And you can't guarantee that. I think he might have gone back to SANFL that year, but you can see where he's at. Now, big fellas take a little bit longer. At 3, 4 and 5 years in now that he is, I'm pretty confident that Riley's not going back to the SANFL and hopefully that's the case this time next year. We're saying that about Sid Draper.
Yeah, I know. I remember having that argument with you. The other one's Dan Curtin. He's playing a role for you. You're the forward coach. Can he grow and thrive in that role?
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. And it's a really interesting conversation, isn't it? When you watch him play, Rowe, where do you think his best position is? Well,
it's not forward for me.
Yeah, I think he can play forward, though, can't he?
But he can play forward, but it's not his best position. It's not what he was drafted to play.
Maybe not long term, but it is interesting. At 16, he was a forward. And then at 17, he went back as well, 18. So he has played forward. I love the way he goes about it with his size. The way he's improved over the last 12 months, I sort of lean towards more him being a very, very good midfielder who does go forward. For bits and pieces. And that's what I think is long-term. But once again, it's second year in. We saw, there was all the outcry last year about why isn't he playing, and it may become a little bit early for him last year. He had a few knee issues and different things, and it was great he got a taste for it, and they go away in the pre-season, and he was terrific the way he had a crack at pre-season, comes back fitter, comes back stronger, and the way he's covering ground is 10 times better than this time last year. So he's still in his infancy as well, but at the moment he's playing because we want him to play. We know he's got talent, we know he's got ability, and we think he's improving each week that he plays.
Scotty, Timmy, just one more on the selection. It's a text that come through from Crow Joe. He just said, can you ask Burnsy about Pedler? How's he going and is he close to getting a game?
Well, don't get me started on him, Burnsy.
Stay out of it.
You go. Go, Rory. I'm listening. You go.
No, you go.
You know I listen to you.
No, you don't.
Oh, look. Peds, we love Peds. I mean, he's just that hard at it and has a crack all the time. He's had a few little issues with his body that's been frustrating him and annoying him. And when he had that free run of it 2 years ago and his body was, there was no hassles at all. He played some terrific football as a higher forward and deeper forward at times. At the moment, like I said, we've got Curtin obviously getting an opportunity there. Zachy Taylor is getting that opportunity in the forward line at the moment, and they've probably got those roles. The other thing we have done this year is played that mid, which has worked quite well in James Peatling or a Saligo at times as well as a higher forward, but mainly as midfielders, and that's helped us with our midfield depth. So it's a bit harder to get in, but look, had a good chat to Peds today and just hoping that he gets those couple of good games over the next week or two, and I'd love to see him back in because I love what he brings to the club and what he has brought to the team in the past.
My friend here's bottom lip dropped a bit when Nick Murray was declared out, and then, of course, Matty had to come out of the side, Matty Crouch, of course.
Drop further.
His lip was just going down. But I said, well, you increased your depth over the pre-season on purpose. Now's the chance to get those guys to stand up. But also Carlton have got Silvani, Zach Williams, Cottrell out. So there's a bit of balance in that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've probably had the rub of the green in terms of injuries over the first 6 to 7 weeks with the teams we've come up against. Jesse Hogan was out. We come against Essendon, and it was at Langford, and Ridley dropped out the week before. So it's just the way it is. We know that Fogarty back, those are pretty good inclusion. We're certainly happy with that. But it's just so disappointing for Nick, because we all see when he's playing at his best and when he's fit, we see the strength, we see his overhead marking, we see his competitiveness, and now to have that obviously knee last year and just a few little issues this year is frustrating, and it just stems that development a little bit. I mean, he works that hard that he'll get there quicker than most, and it's probably similar to Riley last year. Riley missing most of last season. It would be great to have another 20 games in a Riley, but we don't. Unfortunately, this has happened to Nick. What we do know with Nick, though, is that he's one of the most professional players that we do have. So he'll get back as quick as he possibly can, and he's one determined young fella to not just be an AFL player, but to be a very good AFL player.
Let's look at the oppo. Carlton, number one for forward half pressure, locking the ball in the front half, the time in the front half, ground ball wins in the front half, number one, contested ball in the front half. They like getting it in there and locking it in. What's the key to your team beating them, or my team, our team, beating them tomorrow?
I'd not let them get it in there.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Look, they've certainly the last 3 or 4 weeks they've been certainly got some momentum. But even before that, the losses that they did have, they were certainly in the game at half-time or three-quarter time against some quality opposition. De Koning's an outstanding ruck. They got some very good clearance players and midfielders, and Hewitt and Chera maybe have been 1 and 2 in the midfield so far this year ahead of Walsh and Cripps. But they've got some depth in there, and as we know, behind the ball, when you try and go forward, they've had some great intercept markers. I think they're first or second for that in the competition too, Rowey and Tim. So we've got to make sure that we win enough of the ball throughout the middle, but we've certainly got to compete aggressively enough forward of the ball so they can't intercept mark, and we make it a battle and try and get things on our terms in our forward half.
I don't know whether he's the new barometer. Riley O'Brien, he's new with us in here, and I've been watching him ever closely with his connection with the midfield. You go back the GWS game, God, he was great last week, not so good. You got to get a start with the ruckman's hand, don't you? How have you seen his year and that connection, and have you seen some improvement?
Oh, there's definitely improvement. I mean, if you look at the collective rucks and the midfielders, we're a fair bit ahead of where we were last year in terms of clearances and getting our own field position. So our clearances and turning that into field position has been quite pleasing. I think we might have been 13th or 14th for inside 50s. Now we're about 6th for inside 50s this year, and a lot of that has come off the strength of our midfield, especially that first month, and Riley's connection with them. So that's been pleasing. But he's had a couple of tough games. It's hard to get your hands on it against Jared Witts probably 3 to 4 weeks ago. And yeah, last week was a battle. He's a big boy, Darcy. It's never easy. Now he's got the Koning this week. So it's just a matter, if we can't quite get it on our terms, can we at least break even and just bring it down in front, in close, and not let Cripps and those boys be hitting that ball with a little bit of momentum around the stoppages.
Well, with the AFL Tribunal giving a player a 3-week ban for a tackle, and then their advocacy saying we've got to be a bit more prudent, I just want to know how much coaching this week were about prudency and being prudent players, and how bloody ridiculous is this, Scotty? I mean, coming from a bloke like you, fiercely competitive and tough, are we all confused?
Yeah, we are. We're confused with the liability, obviously, with head injuries and what the game is. There's no doubt about that. And we owe it to ourselves. We always had it. The shirt front, fantastic. That's not in anymore. We're up with that, aren't we? The play with their head over the ball, getting run through, absolutely. But it is a tackling game. There is a pack game too, where you're going to come up aggressively with your knees and hit ribs and hit backs and maybe hit a head at times. And that's actually how Paul Seaman's career finished, was a marking contest with a knee to the back of the head. So it's not always about tackling. Now, the frustrating thing for us is that you don't know sometimes if a player's still got the ball, if he hasn't got the ball. You've got momentum. It's hard to pull up when you've got momentum and you're tackling hard. And, the other thing is it's generally sometimes I think if you haven't got two arms pinned, there's definitely an obligation on the player getting tackled. They have to get that arm out to protect themselves. And that's crept in a little bit where I think players are playing for free kicks at times. We don't want that, but the one on the weekend with Curtis and Sin, it's a tough one. There's once a bloke's knocked out now or suffers concussion, you're always going to be in trouble.
One game, not three, Scotty. One, not three.
Yeah, maybe one, or even a warning. I don't think we mean. There's no doubt that Curtis didn't mean to do what he did. He was just tackling. So even if it's a fine or a 1 week suspension at the start. and then if it doubles after that, that's fine. But you'd be pretty disappointed if that was a semi-final and you got 3 weeks and you couldn't take part in the grand final 2 weeks later. So I think that's what it's got to come down to. If it's a prelim, does that player deserve to miss a grand final? If he doesn't, well, then don't make it a week.
Nah, great call. Looking forward to seeing our team's best and responding against, well, an informed team tomorrow. It'll be a cracking game. Love our chats, Burnsy. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, lads. See you, boys.
Well done, Scotty Burns there, Adelaide Crows assistant coach. On the back of that, have you say 8223 0000. We've got that Rusden Black Gut Shiraz.
Yeah. All thanks to our very great Major Crow sponsors, Sterling Homes. Whether your block's the size of Adelaide Oval or the goal square, you can customise your build with Sterling Homes. So as we go to the break at 21 after 5, just some numbers on Sid Draper, because that's what the talk is all about at the moment on the Unique Homestyle Food text. And you went hard there with Scotty Burns at the start. He's averaging 7.7 disposals a game at the moment. His 4 matches as sub, you can imagine, have decreased that number a little bit on average. He averages a sub just 6.5 touches a game, but in his 3 full games, he's had 15, 7 and 6. So you can sort of see where Scott Burns is coming from in regards to that, just getting his hands on the footy more.
But he's not playing midfield.
Playing high out.
That's exactly right.
And I think there was a text that came in very quickly saying, well, when you challenged him about that, whose spot is he going to take? They said, well,
Matt Crouch was out. I think
that's right.
Well, he's not a natural 1-for-1, so I defend the team on that because he's an inside midfielder. This boy can do inside, but I think he's going to hurt you on the outside. And I get the development and all that sort of stuff, but I look with envy at other teams with high talent like this, and we somehow just don't do it well.
Warwick says on the text, if we lose the midfield tomorrow against Carlton, then I think selectors can take every bit of responsibility for not playing Sid Draper.
Well,
have your
say. Be on the back of that, but it's not going to be Sid doesn't play, they lose, so let's have a crack. It's more than that, and I can see where Burnsy was coming from. Those numbers are damning, but how much of that's been in the midfield?
That's exactly right, and you have to break that down even further.
That's all Will was saying this morning. That's all I'm saying.
Little to nothing.
Little to nothing.
Yeah.
This kid is a midfielder.
And this is a golden opportunity for him.
He's a midfielder.
8223 0000 for that Rusden Black Guts. We'll give that away very shortly, so call in now. Here's your roads.
In Virginia, look out for a crash on Anglevale Road near Robert Road. At O'Sullivan Beach, there's a truck breakdown on Morrow Road near Hales Drive. In Paralawi, another breakdown on Boulevard Road near Port Wakefield Road is causing slow traffic outbound, and a crash at Port Noarlunga South on Commercial Road just past South Pacific Drive. AirAsia is back with direct flights to Bali. Fly 4 times a week from just $199. Don't miss out. Book now at airasia.com. T's and C's apply. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
The 2025 federal election is here, and 5AA is keeping you informed.
There is a real choice.
I want that industry to grow.
Join us tomorrow night for up-to-the-minute updates as the numbers roll in. From 7 p.m, Matthew Pantelis will set the scene with the early trends before David Pemberthy and Will Goodings take you through the decisive moments as the result becomes clear.
I put forward a positive agenda.
People have lost faith in this government.
The coverage rolls on until midnight as Sam Daddo keeps you updated and takes your calls.
I'm absolutely proud of our achievements.
The 2025 federal election on 5AA. Always informative. Always Adelaide.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. They'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash. And your breakfast or lunch is on them. Your car gets the love too with their state-of-the-art service centre, brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, they'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Whether you're coming into the city for footy, friends or family, or you're headed out into SA, you can let Stateliner do the driving for you. They have a fleet of modern, comfortable buses that connects Adelaide to the Eyre Peninsula, the Mid-North, Riverland and South East, with many towns in between. Stateliner buses are equipped with toilets, air conditioning, they're wheelchair accessible, and you can even charge your phone. With 50% off for pensioners, seniors, children and SA full-time students, let Stateliner do the driving for you. Book today.
Every 4 minutes, one Australian suffers a heart attack or stroke. But knowing your risk is the first step to a healthier heart. That's why the Heart Foundation is encouraging you to get a heart health check this Heart Week. It's a simple 20-minute checkup with your GP. So book a heart health check today and never miss a beat.
Sharman Shelving isn't just for business and affordable van fit-outs. Sharman Shelving can transform your garage too. Their Aussie tough steel shelving, workbenches and cupboards look great and are built to last. Every time your garage door opens, you'll be bursting with pride at how great it looks. Call Sharman Shelving and get Georgia Bill to swing by for a free measure and quote. Check out sharmanshelving.com.au, follow on Facebook or take a look on Instagram.
Mario Maiolo Promotions and 5AA present Blowin' in the Wind, honouring Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Bob Dylan with friends Johnny Cash, Joan Baez and the Travelling Wilburys. Come celebrate the legends who contributed to cultural change through inspired lyrics and songs of revolution with an amazing cast. The times they're a-changing, folks, so don't think twice because it's all right. Blowin' in the Wind, Her Majesty's Theatre, Friday 23rd of May. Book now at Ticketek.
Just call Ken Hall. We'll be there anytime at all. Just call Ken Hall.
Winter is coming, bringing blocked drains, cold showers, leaking roofs and a chilly home. Don't worry, just call Ken. We'll be there when you need us. Ken Hall will get your home ready for winter with heater servicing, gutter cleaning and roof inspections. Stay safe and warm this winter. Just call Ken. Working for you since 1983.
Just call Ken Hall.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
27 after 5, Dougie Hawkins very soon after 5:30 headlines. Rather, still time for your calls, 8223 000. I got a Rusden Blackgut Shiraz to give away.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong with this Sid Draper thing, have you say, with that Rusden Blackguts, 8223 000. Plenty of text coming through on that line.
That subject matter, yeah.
And I question Scotty, and he has every right to have his response. Now, whether you believe it or not is, up to you.
Well, here's what Scotty had to say, just quickly.
Well, he's had a good opportunity. He's been in for 7 or 8 weeks. I haven't felt that Sid's probably been on the top of his game. It's been great. There's not too many young kids that will come in and play those first 7, 8 Rowey, and he probably, for us and the match committee, just needs ball in hand a little bit.
What's best for Sid Draper was the quote on Thursday by the coach. In my eyes, what's best for Draper is to be playing in the position he was drafted to play. Now, in response, Scotty says, well, with this development with it and all this sort of stuff, we don't seem to nail that.
Yeah, AJ on the Unique Homestyle Food text says, hey, Rowey and Tim, Sam Laylaw seems to be going okay at Richmond. Don't protect Sid Draper, just play him.
Play him. No, but play him as a midfielder.
That's the difference.
What did you say to me in the break? Just say it. What would a Jack Carter, Neil Barndo, what did Mark Williams rang us at selection, and Rubbers, and said, Rowey, if you don't play Bokey, we'll embarrass you. They played him, we never saw him back.
Jack grabbed an 18-year-old Simon Tregenza and threw him on the wing, played in 3 flags in a row. See a trigger.
No, but he pulled you aside early and said, hey, he's talented.
He's going to play every game.
He'll just play every game.
He said he'll play every game.
Coaches know. And when they know, the player knows. When the player knows, they light up.
Back him in. There we go. Hectorville. G'day, Max.
Yeah, good day. I just thought it was inconsiderate of that Sydney supporter that threw a frog cake at a chair or a beer. I've heard he's more a jam donut sort of guy.
Just dump that. Max.
Don't call again.
Have a good hard look at yourself, mate. That wasn't funny.
Nah. It was an attempt at humour that fell way short.
Yeah. Now, Timmy and I are larrikins, but this is a community station for families, and to be racist like that was just a pig act. Don't call again. We got his number. We can just... That wasn't even funny, but...
Wipe him. This is a good bloke. G'day, Ange.
Ange.
Timmy and Vass, how are we today, boys? All good?
All right, buddy.
Hey, what'd you call me?
Oh, Vaseline. Isn't that your nickname now, mate, after the other night, isn't it?
Oh, no. Remember, he said nothing sticks to Vaseline. You said if you drop it, it gets all dirt and all that. Yeah.
No, well done, Ange.
That's
got me, son.
Stuck.
Okay. Got me, Ange.
Okay, just quickly, boys. Number one, I don't watch a lot of Crows games, but there's 3 or 4 blokes who should have been dropped before Draper, and then you're bringing a 35-year-old in Brodie Smith taking his spot. If you're not sure, play him in a couple of different positions. And I would like the AFL to come clean and tell us what was that umpire told last night in his earpiece to change his decision? I've never, ever seen that
Nor have I.
ever in my life.
They denied it, Ange. They said it didn't come from above. It came from one of the other umpires on the field.
And I don't believe that.
I have grave
I do
doubts.
not believe that.
I have grave doubts on that.
Yep, you can believe what you want, that's fine, but the 4 umpires are hooked up to each other's earpieces, so they can hear each other.
As they are to the rooster upstairs.
And there's chimes.
And they can talk.
Not directions, though. I don't believe they can have directions from above down to the umpires.
Of course they can. Yeah.
Well, you can believe like you're like that's the.
You ain't listening too much to that Ralph Rooster.
No, we just know
He's paid by the AFL.
The facts are the 4 umpires are connected up by earpiece so they can hear each other.
As the bloke upstairs is.
All right, it's 29 to 6. We have the headlines coming up, and Doug Hawkins next.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, I'm Kendall Brettig. James Vlasakis, the youngest of the bodies in the Barrels killers, has applied for parole. A Queensland man accused of murdering his wife with a ride on lawnmowers been granted bail. A new freshwater poll puts Labor on track to retain government tomorrow, although likely in minority. And Adelaide Thunderbird star Shamira Sterling-Humphrey has confirmed she's pregnant and will miss the rest of the season. Now checking 5AA traffic.
In Virginia, look out for a crash on Anglevale Road near Robert Road. At O'Sullivan Beach, there's a truck breakdown on Morrow Road near Hales Drive. In Paralawi, another breakdown on Boulevard Road near Port Wakefield Road is causing slow traffic outbound, and a crash at Port Noarlunga South on Commercial Road just past South Pacific Drive. AirAsia is back with direct flights to Bali. Fly 4 times a week from just $199. Don't miss out. Book now at airasia.com. T's and C's apply. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, clear tonight and mostly sunny tomorrow, a top of 25, at the moment 18. More news at 6 o'clock on 5AA, always Adelaide.
The state government yesterday announced that the old Department of Hydrogen will be no more.
David Penberthy.
There's no green hydrogen, so why do we need a department? Don't know why this one took so long.
Will Goodings.
It does increasingly feel like the Whyalla Steelworks debacle provided welcome cover for the state government to show what was a dud of a policy.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
Oh, totally. Well, it was convenient for them.
5AA Breakfast.
The private sector's running away from green hydrogen a million miles an hour.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Hi gardeners, Charlie Allbone here. I love chili and garlic, but the bugs and insects hate it. That's why we use it to create Rich Grow Beta Bug, the safer, naturally based insect spray for use on veggies, fruit trees and flowers. To see how the Rich Grow effect can stop these pesky invaders wreaking havoc in your garden, pick up some Beta Bug today and grow you good things. Available at Bunnings Warehouse.
There's a killer on the loose in an Australian country town. 23-year-old Rochelle Childs leaves work, calls her sister and is dead within hours. Her burning body found on a remote coastal road. Her killer never caught. Now an unstoppable cold case team is uncovering shocking new evidence. Find Dear Rochelle in your podcast app or visit dearrochelle.com.au for early access and case files.
When you're cooking up a seafood storm, go straight to the people that process and distribute it. Samtas Seafoods. The best quality and best prices for all of your seafood. Load up your freezer and mix and match up to 4 kilograms of premium seafood for just $60. And what about the range? Atlantic salmon portions, flathead and barramundi fillets, crumb gar, salt and pepper squid, crumb prawns and more. Mix and match 4 kilos for just $60. Only at Samtas Seafoods. Open 7 days. Factory Direct, Richmond Road, Richmond.
Less pear.
More Pinot.
Less Crom.
More canapes.
Less Marks.
More marquees.
Less Ferrells.
More frocks. This autumn, give the footy a miss and have a real ball at the Sportsbet Adelaide Racing Carnival, the nation's finest horse racing, April 26 to May 10.
More?
Morfettville.
Way back in 1974, Gliderol Garage Doors began manufacturing and installing garage doors in South Australia. A lot has changed since then, but our commitment to quality remains as strong as ever. We have garage door solutions of all kinds. Not only do we have traditional doors, our timber look or custom designer doors ensure your house will make a style statement. For a free measure and quote and helpful advice, give Gliderol a call, 1300 799 177, or go to gliderol.com.au.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
24 minutes to 6. We have Jason Holder and we have John Kelton coming up as we talk all thing Group 1 racing at Morphettville, leading into 6 o'clock very soon on this Friday, Footy Friday, thanks to Rusden Wines and David and Will's Democracy Sausage rolling out tomorrow for Election Day. We know that. It's going to be a massive day tomorrow. Will be plenty of coverage here on 5AA2 all the way from 6 till midnight with David and Will also. And if you want to get your hands on one of the Democracy sausages they've been giving out, all thanks to Najobi, if you're in the east, maybe you can head to Norwood Primary School. You'll find some there. Torrensville Primary in the west, or Woodville High School, they'll have some as well from their award-winning farm to your table. Najobi Premium, fresh beef and lamb, ethically, locally and effortlessly. Najobi.com.au.
Well, Port Adelaide take on the Western Bulldogs, and maybe to talk a few things football as well. We're going to get one of the greats on. Well, Port Adelaide take on the Western Bulldogs, and maybe to talk a few things football as well. We're going to get one of the greats on. Broke Ted Whitten's record at Footscray/Western Bulldogs. It's none other than the great Doug Hawkins. Dougie, how are you, mate?
G'day, Tim, and g'day, Rowey. How are you, boys?
We're very well. I was just thinking this game between Port and the Bulldogs, you'd have torn loyalties, wouldn't you? I mean, at the end of 94, they dumped you unceremoniously, and then you were about an inch away from playing for Port Adelaide. Am I right?
Timmy, 100% spot on, Rowey. How's that? That's amazing.
Wow.
Timmy, you go back
nearly
to that
got
now.
Him.
Yeah, no, it was the end of 94. The Dogs gave me the flick, and I spoke to Brian Cunningham.
Yes.
Brian was the CEO of the Port Adelaide Magpies. And you know what, Rory? The reason why, Tim, and we had contact during that year, doing a few shows there with Terry Lindblom from Vegas Promotions, and you're up there singing your songs and your guitar and all that sort of stuff. And then I said, who's this Tim Ginniver? He said he's played 300, he's played in 7 premierships, he's a captain, he's won about 3 or 4 best and fairest, he's a star, Dougie. So I'm going with Tim Ginniver, I said. So anyway, and Rory, fair dinkum, Rory, it was going to happen. Brian Cunningham said Dougie will fly her in, play her on the Saturday and fly back. And again, Rory, the reason why I chose Port Adelaide Magpies is they win premierships. And you tell me now, Tim,
yes,
you won 95 and you won 96, I reckon.
Yeah, you would have been at those reunions this year.
I could have been a multiple Port Adelaide Magpies premiership player. And you know I went to Fitzroy.
Yeah.
Oh, you did too.
I did too.
And then they closed the doors.
Hey, Rowey. I took all their money and ran. Hey, Rowey, you know what, and you know this, there was only one highlight. We beat Adelaide at Footy Park.
Yeah,
that's true. Yes. 95.
And even worse than that, on the back of that win, Bob Hammond was that impressed with Fitzroy, who shouldn't have beaten anyone, to beat us, a star-studded team, apparently. The coach was Robert Shaw, and the very next year, Robert Shaw was our coach. That was the knock-on effect.
No, I tell you what, Rory, Timmy, he coached that night, Rory. He left Fitzroy in the end of 94, and he was Fitzroy coach, and I reckon that beat him. It might have really cost him his job.
Yeah,
that?
True. Yeah.
Done.
Andrew Jarman's 3 votes that night. We won by 5 goals, 6 goals.
Oh, stop it. Hey, now, are you a fan of Ballarat? I mean, you don't have a Doug Hawkins wing there. Are you going there, Dougie? Are you going to go and watch this game?
Ballarat, Tim. I like Ballarat, but you have more fun going to the midnight dinners, get your teeth pulled out. No. I tell you what we've done to you. I tell you what we've done to those Port Adelaide supporters. Timmy, you know what we've done to you?
No.
You can only get 5,000 in, and we only gave you 200 tickets. We got 4,800 going.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I know what you've done. It's wicked, but
So you're going to squeeze in a little corner of the Mark Stadium. All the Port Adelaide supporters, 200 of you.
Yeah,
and if
not
you
good.
sing Never Tear Us Apart, you rip me guts out.
Hey, Dougie, they've recovered all right, haven't they? Considering injuries, that Bont was missing at the beginning, Sam Darcy's got hurt. They've actually polished up okay.
No, they have Jimmy Rowey. They certainly have the Bulldogs. And, you know, I thought, particularly when you have, you know, arguably one of the best players in the competition, or the, you know, best player in the competition in Bontempelli, not playing. Just some blokes that sort of stepped up. A kid called Farija from Horsham. This kid's come along really leaps and bounds. And watch out for a young kid called Ed Richards, the red-headed kid.
Oh, yeah. That's Lou's grandson, is that right? Lou Richards' grandson?
It is, yeah, it was, Rowey, you're right. Rowey, and you're right, Timmy, Rowey, it's his grandson. And, mate, since he's gone into that midfield, he's been sensational. And you know what you're going to get from Thomas Liberatore, the son of Brownlow medalist in Tony. You're going to get a contest and a bloke that has a crack and has a go. But when I say that, don't forget, you've got Horn Francis. Ollie Wine's all right now, Timmy and Rowey.
He played last week, mate. Yeah, he played last week. He's
good.
okay.
That's great news. That's great news for Ollie Wines, Brownlow medalist. The boy Burgoyne's sort of gone into that midfield a bit, and you're playing the captain Connor Rosie off half back.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's been a great move by Kenny. But you know the one I've left out.
No, Butters.
We got the bread. We're going to get Butters.
Oh,
we had the bread at the Bulldogs. Zach Butters will be playing in a red, white, and blue jumper next year, and that is breaking news on Rowey and Tim's radio show on 55 AAA, isn't it?
No bloody chance, Dougie. No, you no chance.
You're a funny
I tell you what, Rowey, Timmy, you know we all like a joke and a bit of fun. This kid, Zach Butters, as we all know, the gun is a gun. You know where he comes from, don't you?
No.
Back of Smarsh, Darley. Plays for Darley Footy Club.
Wow.
And the boy lives here where I live, and he is, and his family is, they're mad Bulldogs. They're mad Bulldogs. He loves Kenny, and Kenny's going to go at the end of the year. Yeah. We got the bread, now we need butter.
Oh, that's funny. Hey,
keep talking
about those injuries, the other big one is Jamari Ugle-Hagan. Now, what has life's temptations got him?
Rowey, pretty sad, mate. It is very sad, matter of fact. The boy's 23, number one pick a couple of years ago, has some real issues, problems. Boys, I don't think he'll ever play in a Footscray jumper again. Red, white, and blue Western Bulldogs.
That's a shame.
It's a shame. I think that his time at the Bulldogs is just about done. Well, not just about done. I think it's done. And I just hope that, first of all, footy, you know what, Timmy, Rowey, I couldn't give a shit about the footy. I worry about the kid's mental health. I just hope he gets his mental health back on track, gets his life back on track, and get out and do what he does well, and that's play footy. Just get his mental health stuff and all that sort of decision making. Yeah, I don't care about the footy. Just worry about the kid's health.
Do you still love the game? It frustrates me, Dougie. We're old school, mate. Honestly.
I took my son Ricky to the Collingwood Essendon Anzac game. He would never been to one of those games, and he wanted to experience it, you know, before the game and all that stuff. And then the boy Nick Dacos, who's a star. There's no doubt about that. He's like his old man Peter, got great balance and great decision maker. And Josh is the same. Mate, he kicked a goal 50 metres out, and I'm not lying. We're sitting underneath the Shane Warne stand. I thought it collapsed. I thought it was going to collapse. It was the most loudest cheering and mate, in our time, and I know here we go, we're old dinosaurs. We'd have 10 goals kicked from 50 metres out. It was just, and it just frustrates me. And I saw that boy from North Melbourne. How can you not tackle a bloke and fall forward and accidentally hit his head on the ground?
I know.
Boys, he got 3 weeks for that.
Yep.
That is frightening.
And Dougie, worse than that, I want you to spell the word. The AFL told us we've got to be a bit more prudent.
Prudent?
Yeah, spell it.
What's that mean?
Yeah.
What does it actually mean? I mean, we can't bump, we can't tackle, and we can't swear at an opposition player like we used to, didn't we? We used to.
Bloody oath.
Mate, I'm very disillusioned with where the game's going, boys. I really am, and that boy again, the boy Curtis, I think it was Curtis.
Paul
from
Curtis,
North
yeah, that's him.
Well, I think it was against Port, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
What, and you guys seen that? I mean, what could the kid do? Give me a break.
Yeah. Dougie, we appreciate your time. You're just an absolute champion on field and off field. We've always loved you, mate, and thanks for taking the call. But I'll send that invite for the 95 reunion, all right, buddy, because I reckon you deserve to be there in spirit.
I love you, Timmy. You're a freak. Good on you, Timmy. Good on you, Rowey. See you, boys.
Doug Hawkins, absolute AFL legend, let alone Footscray / Western Bulldogs legend, our guest.
Isn't he just? It is 14 minutes to 6. We'll chat with John Kelton very shortly and Jason Holder, the jockey of Gold Rush Guru at the SA Derby tomorrow at Morphettville. Let's check your roads.
In Virginia, look out for a crash on Anglevale Road near Robert Road. At O'Sullivan Beach, there's a truck breakdown on Morrow Road near Hales Drive. In Paralawi, another breakdown on Boulevard Road near Port Wakefield Road, causing slow traffic for outbound. And a crash at Port Noarlunga South on Commercial Road, just past South Pacific Drive, is also adding to the delays. Score a screamer of a deal at BWS. Get a bottle of Gordon's London Dry Gin for $44, save $6. Hurry, offer ends Sunday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise. That's Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
If you want to know what's going on at the Port Adelaide Football Club, listen in to the 5AA Sports Show. Each week, Rowey and Timmy G chat with the players and coaches in the know. Thanks to Sharman Shelving. Sharman have moved their showroom next door into the big white building, still at 412 North East Road.
Did you know that over 50 million people worldwide live with epilepsy? That's why CMAX Clinical Research is trialling a new potential treatment and needs your help. If you're aged 18 to 55 and generally healthy, you're invited to join a valuable clinical trial. If eligible, you'll spend 3 nights at CMAX and attend 3 follow-up visits. Plus, you'll get paid for your time upon trial completion. Interested in taking part? Apply today at cmax.com.au.
Looking for a job or career advice? Don't miss the Careers and Employment Expo. There's over 200 educators and employers. Career advice and jobs for all ages. Adelaide Showground, May 9 and 10. Free entry. kjex.com.au.
Oh, here's one. Hey, you leaving, mate?
Yeah, one sec, buddy.
Okay, no worries. Come on. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up.
Parking, turning you into someone you're not. Search UPark app today.
Now, Stephen, as you...
fully aware?
Yeah, I can see that you're flitting around there, trying to look at the plethora of great wines that are at Rusden Wines, and you're sort of thinking to yourself, well, how do I order when there's so many good ones?
Well, go to the cellar door or order online.
Yeah, I do both.
I go Rusden Black Guts, Boundaries, Big Uncle Willie's, and I did an order not that long ago, and that's what I did, didn't I?
You did too.
Yeah.
Actually, you've inspired me. I might.
But you go...
I've got the open Uncle Willie's there.
Yeah. You go Sand Scrub, top of the tree.
Top of the tree.
Top of thy tree. But then you go straight down towards the more school block, the Christian, the more $20 bottle of rep.
Oh, but you know what's just a great everyday wine is Ripper Creek.
Ripper Creek.
Just rip into that, and you can have no problems whatsoever. Now, you met my mate Macca the other day, and you said, we've all got a Macca.
We've all got a Macca.
He's the Sand Scrub man.
He is not.
I've spoilt his taste buds.
If you had said to me, see this bloke here, this is Sand Scrub.
That's Mr. Sand Scrub.
This one here is Black Guts, they point to me. If this one's Boundaries, they'd point to you. And this one's Ripper Creek. There's no way I'd say Macca is Sand Scrub.
Correct.
That is so
He looks
funny.
anything but Sand Scrub.
No. What does Sand Scrub look like?
Oh, magnificent.
Macca.
It doesn't look like Macca. I'll tell you right now.
That is so funny.
Well, if Sand Scrub was Brad Pitt, I'm not sure.
But that's it. Well, it's the top of the shelf. It's his Grange Hermitage. And if you haven't had one, honestly.
It is amazing.
Now, he wouldn't mind me saying it. It's Exy because it's 6 years in a barrel.
Oh, mate, the love that goes into it.
It is elite.
But get up there and try them all. Get up there. It is a fantastic experience. Like you said, the cellar door. And you know what I love? They got the cricket equipment, the soccer balls.
Yep.
You have fun with the kids outside. It's brilliant.
And here's the thing. If you get a bit untidy, just sleep in the farmhouse.
Oh, you'll let you sleep there. No
Well,
worries.
actually, take a swag knowing you're going to get untidy.
I've slept in a swag as well, as you know.
God. So do yourself a favour. Take a visit to the Barossa, number 1. Go to a cellar door called Rusden, number 2. And number 3, check this out, rusdenwines.com.au.
We love to see you, CMI. Come and experience what makes CMI Toyota SA's #1 selling Toyota dealer. If you're looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle, parts or service, our friendly team of Toyota experts are here to assist with all your vehicle needs. Head to cmitoyota.com.au or visit CMI Toyota today. We'd love to see you.
We love to see you, CMI.
Oh, what a feeling, Toyota.
Take the guesswork and effort out of doing the form this autumn carnival with Ladbroke's new AI-powered Form Genius. Ask it any question about a race for fast insights on every runner, jockey and trainer. T's and C's apply and available on website. You win some, you lose more.
Harris Scarf Massive Sale is on now. Save 30 to 40% off women's clothing, 30 to 40% off bras and underwear, plus save 30 to 40% off sleepwear. Sale ends soon, exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
Toolkit Depot has all the gear for every trade under one roof, backed by their price beat promise.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
It's 9 minutes to 6. Very soon we'll get to 5AA football, Friday night footy. And speaking of footy, we have tickets to the showdown, the first one of the year, coming up next Saturday night here on 5AA. For your chance to win and score a night's accommodation at the Pullman Adelaide, head to the website 5AA.com.au or through the 5AA player app to get in the draw. You can book now at pullmanadelaide.com.au. Footy fans' top stay in the East End.
Well, it's a big day of racing at Morphettville tomorrow. We've got, Gold Rush Guru is going to be running. It's a local horse. It's in the $1 million Group 1 Thomas Farms South Australian Derby over 2,500 metres. We've got the jockey on the line, Jason Stubby Older. G'day, mate. How are you?
Good. Timmy G, how are you, my friend?
Excellent, excellent. Now,
right.
Gold Rush Guru itself, it's only a 3-year-old colt. Geez, it's performed well so far. How's it been working in the yard, and what do you reckon about its chances?
Yeah, we ran the other day, Timmy, and he only got beat 2.5 lengths. And I thought his run was quite good. I had to ride him a bit differently. I had to go to the front. As I was travelling just behind the pace, he just got pulling a bit, so I was wide, so I made the decision to elect it to go forward. And as soon as I went forward, he settled lovely. So hopefully tomorrow we can get a bit of cover. We've drawn a bit ugly, but hopefully we can, if I get a bit of cover and switch him off and get him to relax, he'll run super. I think they're overlooking him, Timmy G.
You get plenty of time, don't you? 2,500. If you're out of that barrier at 18 and be able to, like you said, settle him in and let him sit there and go to sleep, so to speak, you get that time to then plan your race, don't you?
Yeah, we do. And most jockeys, we all ride them. We all ride how the best horses, how the horses are going, and get them in their comfort zone. So basically, he's a little bit tricky though because he can get over racing. So I'm hoping there's going to be some speed inside me. But I'll use a bit of initiative out there. He's a good horse. He's won a Derby, the VRC Derby. He'd be the horse I'd want to be on if I had a choice in the race.
Beautiful.
Well, Stubb, you've won a couple for me with Johnny O'Connor. You know that. I love you. Yep. Now, is this a stat? Did you last win the SA Derby 28 years ago?
Long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. I did, my friend. But in the meantime, I've ridden a lot of seconds and a lot of thirds. So it's been a bit frustrating because SA racing is going really well. The only thing is we only get four Group 1s a year. So when this goes, we've got to regroup and hope for the next one. And I've been given another good opportunity this Saturday. We take it from both hands. I'm lucky to be riding him. The good owners behind us, and I'm on a nice horse that can run the distance and I feel that with a bit of luck and running, he'll be hard to beat.
It's a great day, isn't it? This is the time. And is it Goody Handicap next weekend?
Yes, it is, Rowey. So, and the Derby Day
great
especially
time.
has been great time. And I've had a lot of luck. I rode 5 winners, in 2023, a couple of years ago. So, this time of the year, we all step up and the good horses get around it. And, we've got good trainers here in Adelaide, so it's good to be a part of it.
Get out quick, Jace.
Yeah.
Stubby from 18. Put it to sleep.
Yeah.
Put it to sleep. 9 nights.
Wind it out.
And then get that whip out and flog the gizzards out of it in the straight.
Well, I need to, Row, because the last time I spoke to Harry Perks, the last thing he said to me, he goes, "You both might be gelded if you don't."
Oh no!
Yeah,
that's dangerous.
I said that was his last words of advice. So I said that I gave Gold Rush a big pat. I said, "Mate, we're under a bit of pressure here, mate. Maybe we've got this." So I'm looking forward to winning.
You don't need a higher voice, Stub.
No, it's going to be a great day.
Good man.
He's been well prepared by Andrew, so it's just going to be it's a good opportunity for myself, and it's for the horse and the connections as well. So
good man.
Don't overlook him, guys, because he's a good horse.
Absolutely. Hey, all the best with it too, Stubby.
Thanks for your time, fellas. Thank you.
Good man.
He's
Jason
a
Stubby
ripper.
Holder. What an experienced jockey.
He is a ripper,
If
mate.
you've got a horse in that race, you'd like him on it. Don't worry about that. Now to get some tips because...
Timmy and Terry's tips.
Terry's been benched. He's in the foyer of where the Carlton players are. He's trying to get autographs and the like. I'm sure of it anyway. We'll go to racing.com's expert, John Kelton. G'day, Johnny.
Johnny.
G'day, boys. How are you?
Am I far wrong? Is he chasing autographs? What's he doing, mate?
He's either that or he'd be at lunch somewhere. I'm not sure.
It's the latter.
Probably both. Probably both. Now we just heard Jason Holder talk about the big race, of course, the Derby, and he's obviously on Gold Rush Guru. He likes to think that he'll be first past the post. Who's going to join him? Who's going to be second, third and fourth?
Gold Rush Guru is an interesting one. He's probably the best horse in the race on his best form, but his recent form's been way below that, and he's been having a lot of trouble settling. So Jason's going to have to be on his game and have a plan from that wide gate. He won't be an easy ride, but if Gold Rush turns up and puts in, he can be a rapid improver. It's a really interesting race outside of him. Statuario, the Victorian horse, is favourite. But he's short enough odds for mine. I wouldn't be completely surprised if one of the local roughies ran a race. Snoopy Now's been one of my favourite horses the last few weeks. Wow. He didn't have much go his way last week, and he can certainly bounce back.
Excellent. All right, we'll go to that. Now, I was looking around the field myself, and there's another one that Stubby's on, Navy Gold. Now, it's been good to me in the past. I backed it when it won a couple of times. What's his chances in race 5 tomorrow?
I don't know if you saw his last run up at Balaclava, but he had absolutely no luck. He was climbing over hills for most of the straight, and he ended up getting out late, and he only missed by a nose. Again, it's going to be one Stubby has to ride well with that wide gate, but he's definitely good enough if he can, probably another one that needs to relax and get a spot somewhere early, but he's coming off a run where he had zero luck.
Yep. Oh, lost Johnny.
We lost Johnny.
Johnny!
Hello?
I can hear you. Hear you.
Oh, I got you. Sorry, mate. Yeah, it just dropped out. Go. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So you're just saying he just needs to do a similar race to Gold Rush Guru?
Yeah, it's a similar race to Gold Rush. He's had no luck last time. He can definitely win the race, but you always need things going away from those outside gates in big fields.
All right, buddy. What do you got for us?
Come on, Johnny.
A couple of my best bets. The first one comes up in the Port Adelaide Cup Race 6. Sir Kingsford for Gary Nicole Searle and Brianna Callanan at Gawler. They've done a fantastic job with this stayer. He's been a bit of a winning machine of late. He won the Olka Paringa Cup at Oakbank leading all the way, and I'm going to back him to lead all the way here. And if anything, there looks a fair bit less pressure here than there was last time for him.
So race 6, number 3?
Race 6, number 3. And then in race 7, I like On Display. This filly came across last week and had no luck in the straight. She was another one that was held up badly. I think if she got out, she would have won. And the race she was in last week, the Queen of the South, is a stronger race than the one she runs in this week. Benny Mellum's going to take the reins on tomorrow, and I reckon he'll be just sitting quiet, coming to the outside and leaving no excuses this time. I reckon she'll be really hard to beat in race 7.
Beautiful, mate. We're writing them down and we'll have a good day. Thanks very much for that, buddy. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks a lot. Good luck.
John Kelton from racing.com. Give us those tips. Get on board.
Well, we're smack on 6 o'clock, the news coming up, and then the football. But we're going to give Yuri the bottle of Rusden Black Gut Shiraz, even though he said Black Gut Shiraz. He couldn't get the words out.
He was a bit down, he said. He was
and he was a bit down. He's had a tough week, and he can finish it with a Rusden Black Gut Shiraz.
Oh, congratulations, Yuri. Well done,
you're
mate.
a good man.
Outstanding. 6 o'clock news time.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.